A man named Michael Reyes had a handgun in his possession when it discharged and struck his 3-year-old daughter in the stomach. Now, this is according to the Toledo Blade. Now, how could this have happened? I mean, okay, it does happen. It's happened pretty often where a child will get a hold of a gun. Now, what's even more amazing is that this man, Michael Reyes, had no business owning a gun in the first place. Now, conservatives are going to automatically be like, "Oh my God, what are you talking about? Second Amendment." Well, hear me out here. Hear me out. Reyes was not only a felon, but was also legally blind. Reyes' father, who, by the way, has his son live with him, said, quote, "It was a total accident. I understand what they're saying. There shouldn't have been a weapon in the house." He said he claims that he's unaware and, there's no reason not to believe him. But how does a legally blind, convicted felon get his hands on a gun? Now, obviously, if I'm Michael Reyes, I'm torn up. If I'm that guy, I feel for him. Because now he has to live through the fact that his daughter could have been killed. And by the way, she's still at the hospital. She's still in critical condition at this point. At the point of this story. So, I mean, things could go south. Now, we're hoping that doesn't happen. But if you're Michael Reyes, you must be thinking, how the hell did this happen? Why did I have a gun in the house? Now, that's a good question. And the better question is, how did he get a gun? Well, Ohio is very pro-gun under John Kasich and the Republicans. This law, the laws in Ohio, basically allow open carry and concealed carry. There are no permits required, no registration, no licenses from buyers. Now, people in Ohio that are felons are banned from having guns. But how do you enforce a ban if you don't allow them to check to see if you are a felon before you buy a gun? If you're not required to get a permit, and if you're not required to get background checks, how will they know if you were a felon or not? It's not like you're going to volunteer that information. Are you? And look, conservatives will probably point to this story and say, see? How do you stop the criminals from getting the guns? Maybe you should actually do some enforcement of these laws. And maybe it makes their point of, well, we have so many gun laws on the books. Why don't we just enforce those? You know what? That'd be a great idea. In this situation, this might have actually helped prevent this little girl from getting shot in the stomach. But the whole thing is that when they say that, they don't really mean that. And it shows in their actions. Ohio does not want to enforce these laws. Because they're all about the Second Amendment. They're all about freedom. The freedom to own guns. You can't tell me what to do. You can't regulate guns. Thou shalt not be infringed. And that's what happens. Quite simply, if Michael Reyes had been stopped like he should have been, if these laws had been enforced, he wouldn't have had a gun in the first place, and he would have not been able to accidentally shoot his daughter. That's the truth of it. When you have weak enforcement and weak gun laws that you can't enforce, you're going to end up with more shootings. You're going to end up with convicted felons who are legally blind getting a hold of weapons and accidentally shooting someone. That's what you're going to have. And no matter what you try to say about, gun laws, or what you try to say about liberals or whatever, if you're conservative, you can't ignore that fact. When we don't enforce the laws that we have, this shit like this happens.